It's time for Recipe of the Day. I am pretty much obsessed with today's recipe, which is for turkey chili. I really was trying to perfect how we cook ground turkey to make it as juicy and flavorful as possible because it has that reputation of being kind of dry and flavorless. And I did work on that, and I will link to the How to Cook Ground Turkey post in the show notes for this podcast episode. But really and honestly, I will tell you that when I set out to do this turkey chili recipe in ground turkey, I didn't expect it to be exceptional. I love chili, but I love it like that classic way with all that beefy flavor. And so I kind of expected to like this, but not to love it. And I seriously love it. It ends up being really meaty. There's some chipotle chili and adobo in there. So it's like smoky heat, but not like super spicy. A really nice depth of flavor. And it's ready really quickly because I didn't want the ground turkey to be simmering for a long time because that's going to toughen it. It's really ready in under 30 minutes. It is that good. Okay. I'm starting with an optional step, but I really don't think you should skip it. The reason I'm saying it's optional is that it involves mushrooms. And I know that not everybody loves mushrooms. And so if you're like, I don't want mushrooms in my chili, you don't have to put them in there. But I'm going to tell you, neither of my kids likes mushrooms, and they have not noticed that they're in this chili, and I made it 3 times for them already. It really just adds so much meatiness and juiciness to the flavor of the whole chili, and they're almost like dissolved in there. They're small, and they really do make a difference. So I am saying start by melting a tablespoon of butter over medium-high heat in a large pot, and then you're adding 8 ounces. That's one of those little like pint containers of well chopped up mushrooms. You want them nice and fine. You add that to the butter and stir and cook them over medium heat until they're nice and brown. Then you're going in with 2 pounds of ground turkey. Now the recipe calls for ground turkey, not ground turkey breast. The ground turkey breast is quite a bit leaner and drier. You can use it, especially if you did that mushroom step, but it's going to be even better if you use the stuff that's labeled ground turkey. Whichever one you're doing, it's 2 pounds. That's going into the pot along with a teaspoon of chili powder, a half a teaspoon of salt. We're going to be adding more of both of those later, but we're kind of adding them in stages. Now you're going to break up that turkey and kind of mix everything in your pot all together and then just leave it there undisturbed, cooking over medium-high heat for 5 minutes. That's starting to just brown that turkey a little bit, get a little bit of caramelization flavor going on. Then you break it up some more, flip it all around, and you're adding in 2 bell peppers that you have chopped up. Now I like to do 2 different colored peppers. It just brings a lot of color into this chili, but you could do 1 color. It doesn't really matter. You're also adding in a medium onion chopped up and 3 cloves of garlic minced. Stir that to mix it up and then reduce the heat down to medium and cook, stirring occasionally until those veggies have softened, about 5 minutes. Then you're adding in 2 cans of beans. They're 15-ounce cans. Drain them first and you add those. The recipe calls for 2 cans of the red kidney beans, but I actually like to make it with 2 different kinds of beans just for more color and variety. So I often go with 1 can of those regular dark red kidney beans and 1 can of the white kidney beans that are also called cannellini beans. And you're also adding 2 cans of diced tomatoes with their juices and 24 ounces of tomato sauce, whatever tomato sauce you like. 24 ounces is one of those standard jars of tomato sauce, but the equivalent is 3 cups. So if you're measuring it from somewhere else, 3 cups of tomato sauce. At this point, you're also adding in another 3 teaspoons of chili powder and a teaspoon of salt. Like I said, we were adding things at different stages to make sure that everything is flavored as it's cooking. You're also adding in 3/4 of a teaspoon of cumin, and this is where that chipotle chili and adobo sauce comes in. It's sold in little cans. The brand that I buy is Little Blue cans, sold in the international aisle, and they're just these little chilies that are smoked and then packed in this sauce full of really, really nice smoky heat. You're going to pull 2 of those chili peppers out of that can and you're going to mince them up really finely and then scrape them along with any juices that came from that can along with the chilies that end up on your cutting board. Scrape all of that into the pot. Give that all a stir, increase the heat to high, bring it to a boil, stirring every now and then reduce the heat down to low and cover it and let it simmer for just 7 minutes or so. You're just letting those flavors blend and then that's it. Give it a stir, ladle it into bowls. I like to top it with a little cheddar cheese right on top of the chili so it melts a little bit, then a scoop of sour cream and some green onions. That's what we like here. Also sometimes some diced up avocado and some crushed up tortilla chips. Those are great on there as well. Okay, I will put the link to this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there. Everything there is arranged by date, so it's helpful to know that today is May 12th of 2025. Also, if you love my recipes and cooking ideas, I have a great place for you to get more. Head to cookthestory.com/courses, COURSES, and you will see all of my little cooking courses there. You can sign up for them. There's one for like meal planning that's called Rotation Ready Recipes. There's one for Instant Pot. There's one for Air Fryer. You sign up there and you start getting more delicious recipes and ideas in your inbox straight from me. Head to cookthestory.com/courses to sign up now. I am Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, the all new chicken cookbook, and from this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.